Well, the furor over the Padmavati won't die down, at least anytime soon. Neither will the mystery over whether she was a fictional character or a historical one. But it's the same around the world. There have been countless female monarchs who have been feared, revered, loved, and will continue to be remembered for thousands of years, whether they were actual flesh and blood characters or not. WION senior foreign editor Padma Rao takes a look at queens around the world.
Quizzical queens, there were many across the world. Take Queen Nzinga of coastal Africa. She lived between 1583 and 1663. She confronted slave traders. She allied with the Portuguese against her many rivals to stop slave trade. She allied with the Dutch. She went into battle, and she recruited escaped slaves as soldiers for her army. There was Queen Eleanor of Aquitaine, France. She lived from 1122 to 1204. She inherited the duchy of the largest French province of the time, Aquitaine, at age 15. She transformed the province into a cultural hub and seat of learning. She married Louis VII of France in 1137, divorced and remarried England's Henry II. And she was imprisoned for opposing Henry II over the Archbishop of Canterbury's murder. Then there was Queen Mavia of Arabia. She lived in the second half of the 4th century BC. She was an Arab warrior princess of southern Syria. She rebelled with troops against Roman rule. She rode into Phoenicia and Palestine. She defeated the Roman army near Egypt and made a truce. She helped the Romans with cavalry against the Goths, and she was considered one of the most powerful Arab women of her time. There was a famous Queen Hatshepsut of Egypt who lived between 1508 and 1458 BC. She was ancient Egypt's 5th pharaoh and its longest woman ruler. She was one of Egypt's most successful monarchs. She commissioned many buildings, launched trade networks, conducted successful military campaigns in Nubia, the Levant, and Syria. Let's look at Queen Maria Theresa of Austria. She lived between 1717 and 1780. She became the Empress of the Habsburg Empire at age 23. She allied with Hungary, repelled invading armies of Bavaria, Saxony, and many others. The war ended with the Aix-la-Chapelle Treaty. Maria Theresa was a successful economist, a politician, and she expanded the army. She promoted education and liberal policies, and she abolished witch-burning, torture, and capital punishment. Queen Isabella of Spain lived between 1451 and 1504. She was the most controversial Spanish queen. She sponsored Christopher Columbus's voyage to the Western Hemisphere. The Catholic fanatic also initiated the Spanish Inquisition. She tortured, murdered, or evicted nearly 2,000 Jews and persecuted Muslims. She unified Spain under Catholic control. And finally, the most quizzical queens of all, Queen Cleopatra of Egypt. She lived between 69 and 30 before the Christian era. She was the last ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt. She belonged to a Greek family from Macedonia. Cleopatra spoke Greek and also learned Egypt's ancient language. She liaised with Julius Caesar and then with Mark Antony. She committed suicide after Mark Antony did the same. Padma Rao, WION.